Hey, hello everybody. I'm so happy to be here today. It's actually great to see so many people all around the world online and interested in Wi-Fi and wireless design. Excellent presentations, Matt and Brian. Thank you. Really interesting details. Hey, Matt and Mac, I actually realized something. I'm having that gorgeous T-shirt that you gave away as a swag, and my only kind of good thing is that I have the real device, so maybe I hold it here until my end of my presentation. No, just kidding. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the next 20 minutes or so regarding the how do you validate your Wi-Fi like a superhero, and you all know that every superhero needs their sidekick, right? And who doesn't want to be a superhero? At least I do. So I want to see the invisible RF. I want to be lightning fast. I want to know my stuff. I want to shine. I want to do great Wi-Fi. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. How does this happen with Sidekick 2? All right, let's start with a short recap. Just in case you missed it earlier, I think you didn't, but just in case you did, Ekahau just introduced a brand new Sidekick 2, and we are shipping it as we speak. It's even better, faster, and more accurate than the original Sidekick. It helps you to validate all of your Wi-Fi networks, no matter if you are on traditional 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, or you want to be ready for 6 gigahertz as well. It almost comes without saying that it has unbelievable speed and accuracy. This is what we are proud of. First, it really is a tool that doesn't limit your performance. You choose the pace for your work. And at the same time, you can get even more accurate and reliable data than anything seen on the marketplace earlier. You can trust the data every day. All in all, it has all you need to make your Wi-Fi great and get it right the first time. It's your interest to address the issues before they even emerge. Ultimately, Sidekick 2 is what you need to become a superhero in your Wi-Fi network. Next slide, thanks. So what is it really all about? So first of all, there are unique custom design antennas. In fact, 9 of them, all of them carefully tailored for their purpose. The omnidirectional antenna pattern was our design goal, and we exceeded our expectations. All of this means ridiculous accuracy and consistency. The device contains 4 independent tri-band radios, each of them being enterprise grade. Great even alone, but when combined into one, oh boy, it all comes together, providing that amazing speed by doing more things in parallel and also improving the accuracy and precision. Then Sidekick 2 has extremely fast and high resolution spectrum analyzer. It has higher refresh rate than ever and is able to capture more granular data with its better resolution. All of this for 3 frequency bands at the same time. The thing in Sidekick 2 I'm proud of is the all-day battery life. Despite of all calculations and data processing we do, you don't need to worry about device running out of juice while doing your all-day survey. The new Sidekick actually has the largest battery allowed in the commercial airplanes. That provides you more than a full day of on-site surveying. And in case you need to charge, just 1 hour quick charging and you have 4 hours more survey time.
Hey Ari,
yeah,
I can validate that about the Sidekick 2 and the battery, and especially for going on an airplane, because I actually brought my Sidekick 2 home with me when I came back from the Helsinki office when I was there very recently, and I took it through the in my cabin bag, so I had to pass it through security, and I put it in the bag and it went through the security scanner and it came out the other side, and then I just got my bag back. I was actually a little bit disappointed because I was hoping they was going to ask me about, hey, what is this cool device you've got in your bag, so I could get it out and talk about it. But I had no issues with going through security. They let me through straight away. No problem with my Sidekick 2. So no problem with taking the Sidekick 2 with you on a plane. Cool.
Like I said, largest that you can take with you. So it's good that you didn't got caught. All right. Thanks. The device is also cooler than ever before. So we have introduced a new active cooling system there to maintain the optimal operating temperature and still keeping it whisper quiet. Last but not least, I think I heard it mentioned already during today, in Sidekick 2, we have now the USB connector, USB-C connector included, which means you can't plug the cable the wrong way. It's also carefully designed to take the pressure off of the connection by having it on the top of the device and protecting the cable with in the recessed cable channel. So I'm so happy about this new approach.
Yeah, lots of feedback from lots of users about how much they love the Sidekick 2, and loads of people telling me and Mac how much they're loving that USB-C connectivity and where it sits now. I've surveyed with it personally. It just feels great. It looks great. It's so sturdy, and you can feel it's well protected, and it just is amazing.
Yeah, nice to hear. Nice to hear.
And you can't get it wrong, right? It's like typically with USB-A or micro or mini, I remember those times, like pretty much happens to me all the time. You try it on one side, it doesn't fit, then you try it on the other side and it still doesn't fit. And then you go back to the first one and then it fits. So that makes a difference.
Absolutely. So now it should work the first time. Get it right the first time. Okay. All right, hey, let's talk about a few words regarding the Wi-Fi design flow. So lucky you, this is not complicated. We have these easy steps for you to follow to build a great Wi-Fi. What's remarkable to note is the central role of Sidekick 2 in each of these phases. Quite often in real life, you can find it very useful to start your design work by doing a survey just to learn the RF environment. This is especially important when thinking of the coming 6 GHz deployments. This survey actually helps you to develop the right design just for you and for your environment. The ability to know the right number of APs and the right locations and the right configurations is crucial, and your environment matters there. Then you often consider another round of survey that happens just before you do the full-scale deployment. That's where you validate your design, make sure your design details are working in real life before investing into the full deployment. And only then you are ready for the deployment, after which you then obviously do the post-deployment survey to ensure that you really got the network that you designed for. You need to also remember that Wi-Fi does not remain great if you don't do regular health checks and assessments. When was it the last time when you ran a survey? Do you know how your network is performing today? The environment is changing, the requirements can vary, and the types of clients and users, that's not constant. I cannot emphasize too much the need of continuously making sure your network is still performing great. And what is really exciting in this space is that this is an area where we will be revealing something really cool very, very soon. Just wait for a few more slides to hear more about this. And it's important to understand that it's not just necessarily a linear process which you must follow every single time. Instead, you may start anywhere you like, and you can go back and forth between these steps.
I wonder what Ari is talking about when he says about the reveal, when he talks about the reveal. And Ari, you asked, how often do we do the health check surveys? I'm not sure about you guys, but I do it every day because I'm getting so excited when doing autopilot surveys with a Sidekick 2.
Nice, nice. We'll see the revealing part soon. Hold your horses. Hey, before that, let's do some comparison here. So here I have put together a simple illustration of Sidekick generations, and obviously 6 GHz measurement support comes only with Sidekick 2, but it's much more than that. So if you are today only thinking of 2.4 and 5 GHz networks and measuring those, then Sidekick 2 is actually twice as fast as the original Sidekick was. And it's not just faster, let's remember it's also more accurate and more precise. So this allows you to even run and still get great results. And when measuring full tri-band deployments, Sidekick 2 is at least a third faster compared to original Sidekick, which is scanning only 2.4 and 5 GHz. So this lets you do all of your surveys without any need to slow down. And again, remember, it's even faster in Europe as there are less channels to scan. The spectrum analyzer has twice the speed over the whole tri-band spectrum compared to dual band of original Sidekick. So you will see higher refresh rate in the spectrum data. We are in fact moving from 25 sweeps to 50 sweeps per second and still doing 3 bands instead of 2. That's amazing. In practice, this means you can capture quicker interference spikes and other interesting quick details that might come and go rapidly. At the same time, Spectrum Analyzer has better resolution, which means the capability to drill down into 4 times smaller details. And that in turn means that you can capture and better zoom in to the RF spectrum to analyze reasons that are possibly impacting your Wi-Fi performance and maybe affecting the low latency things and issues like that, which Matt was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I just want to pause and reiterate something here that you said, Ari, because this is insane that the Sidekick 2 has got more channels to scan, but it can do it even faster than before. I remember reading online and seeing people concerned about 6 gigahertz is coming and all of these additional channels that we're going to have to scan. Are people going to have to start walking really slow when they do their surveys? Are they going to have to use a different approach, like going back to the stop and go type of survey days? Mac mentioned the autopilot mode for surveying, and that's my favorite. I know it's Mac's favorite. I would have been crying with sadness, not happiness, if I had to go back to those stop and go surveys. But I am so glad to say that it's how it's faster. It blows my mind. And the fact that we can carry on surveying with our mobile devices using our favorite survey feature is just incredible. So amazing work to you, Ari, and the rest of the team there, because this was a huge challenge that I don't think many people in the industry really expected we would actually be able to carry on working like we do today. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and thanks. Also, how cool is it that you can see the spectrum on the screen of your mobile phone? For me, it's mind-blowing. It's not only like one of the most capable spectrum analyzers in the Wi-Fi industry right now. Actually, I think it is the most amazing one available. But the fact that you can just carry it with you and see it on a mobile phone is amazing. I remember the times when I was still at uni, spectrum analyzers were bigger than Matt, okay? They were sitting on the desk and you couldn't move them around too easily. And now I have it on my phone. So good. I want to cry, as always.
That's amazing. So, hey, shall we talk about the speed? That's a really interesting topic. So it's amazing actually how much data we collect with new Sidekick. It's not only that we collect more data at each measurement point because we have the 6 gigahertz there included, but we also have more of those points as our scanning speed is so much higher. So in these pictures, you can see how the measurement points on the survey path are actually much more dense with Sidekick 2. That is, you have the full data from all Wi-Fi channels on way more physical location spots. And that in turn means much more precise and accurate view of the reality. You can benefit from this by either just having more accuracy for your measurements while still walking the same way as you did earlier, or you can even consider increasing your walking speed, maybe even start running. Perhaps you want to have a small friendly race with your colleagues. I don't know who runs the first, who can run the fastest during the survey.
That sounds like a challenge, Ari. Yeah, I think me and Mac might have to take you up on that.
Maybe one day, yeah, sure. And you don't need to, but you can. So always you can get reliable and trustworthy results no matter how you move. I was actually amazed to see the other day one of our customers literally jogging throughout his survey and producing still amazingly great results. That's something that really makes you as a Wi-Fi superhero when doing that.
So Mac, next time me and you are in the Helsinki office, we're both wearing a Sidekick and we're going to do a race.
I'm taking a bike.
All right. Hey, let's dive into spectrum analysis. That's also very fascinating. So is it only me who thinks that this picture is amazing? It shows a zoomed view into the RF spectrum covering a bit more than a single 20 megahertz Wi-Fi channel with quite high utilization. Personally, I feel this really satisfying. The increased speed and improved resolution makes it so that we're not losing any interesting details in the spectrum. It's a bit like moving from full HD to 4K in the video world. This enables you to better zoom into the details. You can see and observe the smallest, extremely small details that could possibly affect the performance of your Wi-Fi. in this specific picture, you literally can see the utilization of subcarriers of the OFDMA transmission, just in case some of them are becoming distracted by something. All of these tiny details are becoming really extremely important and critical when you go to the, for example, low latency Wi-Fi and deterministic behavior that Matt was talking about in his presentation. And remember, even if you don't want to personally dive into every single detail here, as a Wi-Fi superhero, you can sleep better by knowing that your Sidekick 2 still sees those tiny details and can understand and interpret them for the interference and other analysis. Another point, remember, which is not really visible in this frozen picture, is that we do these captures with the higher frame rate. So you get not only smoother updates on the UI, but you also have a better chance to see even quicker events and interferers. Again, remember low latency needs. Nothing should come there to block you. And one more thing, all of the crazy resolution and higher frame rate is enabled at the same time on all 3 frequency bands. So you really don't lose any detail in the wireless spectrum. That's what I would call as a superhero vision into the invisible RF world.
So satisfying, Ari. It's more satisfying than a meal at a Michelin star restaurant, looking at the spectrum captured with a Sidekick 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and having such an amazing detailed spectrum to be able to capture at that level is that, like you said, that peace of mind, Ari, knowing that when you are walking through a site, if you're doing a validation survey of your design, or if you're maybe called in to troubleshoot a network, there's so many IoT devices. I mean, what Matt was talking about earlier, like how many hundreds of thousands of devices out there. These are deployed across all different types of networks, from carpeted office spaces to manufacturing, warehouses, outdoor. These devices, sometimes they only operate for a short period of time with a really short part of the spectrum that they're using. So being able to capture with the Sidekick 2 spectrum analyzer that is so fast, and being able to go down to that level of detail, you know that you would be able to catch it with your Sidekick 2, and that could be one of the reasons that's causing some issues on the network, and then you can remediate it. So that is why it's so important and really impressive.
Yeah, great. Shall we move on? Shall we talk about the new stuff?
This, my friends, is even more satisfying than just staring at the spectrum. So spectrum is just one side of things. What we are looking at is a massive upgrade to our Analyzer app, where you will be able to see more than a spectrum. We are peeking into beacons with such level of details that you've never seen before. So you can validate your network, you can troubleshoot your network, you can become a hero by just looking at the screen of your tablet or a phone with a Sidekick 2 connected to it, and you can see what's really happening in the network from both the spectrum and the protocol side of things. So guys, I'm not sure about you, but this for me is a very exciting moment. We have been waiting to see the addition of this stuff for a long time now, and I'm so extremely satisfied to see it finally being added to the product. It makes my life so much easier and filled with joy that I won't be able to sleep for at least a year now. How about you, Matt?
Well, I think the thing that makes me laugh the most is actually internally how people have been describing me and you when we have been talking about this is probably not safe to say on a public webinar right now, but to paint a bit of a picture, it would require both of me and Mac wearing adult diapers. That's how excited we have been about this new update and announcement. So you can maybe get a bit of an idea of how cool this is going to be. So I tell you what, why don't I jump straight into this demo now so we can show you exactly what it can do. Well, it is my pleasure and honor to be introducing to you this amazing new feature in our beloved Analyzer application, the Network Overview. But hey, before we get into that, for anyone watching this who is not familiar with our Analyzer application, let me just give you a quick overview of what it can do. It basically turns your mobile device, with the help of your Sidekick, into a troubleshooting powerhouse. Being able to see how the Wi-Fi network is performing in a very clear green equals good and red equals bad color system. The Analyzer application helps you to easily locate and precisely track down Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi interference that can be causing havoc on the network. And it also gives you the ability to see the invisible Wi-Fi spectrum in high resolution in the palm of your hands. Let's take a look at this new network overview feature and how it can help you validate that your designs have been implemented correctly, and also be incredibly beneficial for if you ever get called to troubleshoot a network. Being able to see how the Wi-Fi has been implemented and configured without the need to log on to the wireless controller system is a game changer. We can now see anything from how strong is the signal strength from specific access points to which country code are they using. What you see here is how I have set up my analyzer application with my specific fields that I wanted to configure, but this is totally customizable, and I will show you how you can do that in a few moments time. One example here, you can see that the highlighted network is configured with the country code GB, which is correct as I am in the UK. But if I was not in the UK, and for example, let's say that I was in the US and there was an AP that had been installed with a GB country code, well, that could be a potential cause for some issues for client devices. If we click on the little eye icon on the right hand side, it opens up more details about that specific network for you to analyze, and we can also see the AP highlighted in the noise and RSSI chart below. So let me show you how we can customize the view to see the columns that you are specifically interested in seeing in the main view. It is as simple as unchecking what you do not want to see on the left, and then checking on the right hand side any of the categories you would like to see. Then you can just drag and drop into whichever order of your preference. I'm going to move this MFP management frame protection column to be next to the security option, as if this is configured on a network that you have been asked to troubleshoot for client connectivity, well, this could be one of the reasons why some clients are unable to connect, as not all clients support MFP. We are also able to search and filter this main view. I am now going to filter to just look at my networks, as I want to talk to you about what I think is one of the most coolest things about the new network overview feature, and it's that we are able to compare side by side in the same application the channel utilization from the perspective of the spectrum analyzer inside of the Sidekick versus the BSS utilization, which is from the perspective of the access point. This is just awesome. If we are seeing high utilization being reported from the Sidekick or from the AP, could this be because the AP is oversubscribed with too many associated stations? Well, we can also see how many stations are associated to this AP from looking at the SDA column. I don't have too many connected at my house, just 3 in this example. I'm not quite as crazy as Mac when it comes to the home IoT, but if you saw lots of stations connected to the AP or network you were troubleshooting, this could indicate that maybe this would be a good opportunity to have a new Wi-Fi design to better cope with the capacity demands of that network. I am super excited about this new feature and how it will be able to help Ekahau customers validate that their designs have been implemented correctly, and also be able to more effectively troubleshoot Wi-Fi networks in the future. So there we go.
I'm speechless.
That makes a change for once. Yeah, I mean...
Ari wanted to say something, but he's muted. Sorry, Ari, I muted you because you were adding feedback.
Oh, all right. I was just thinking that now Brian got what he asked for. So
yeah, I was thinking about Brian when he was talking about in his presentation, you know, how he likes to, him and his team are using the Analyzer application and his Sidekick to, you know, spot check things that are happening in those environments really quickly. And sometimes he gets alerts about oversubscribed access points. So too many stations being connected to an access point. Not quite sure what method he was using for that before, but now him and his team are going to be able to check that on the palm of their hand with their mobile devices with Analyzer and their Sidekick 2s, which is just, you know, amazing. It's unlocking the potential to be able to see so much more information, you know, really great way to validate. Has my design that I asked the stakeholder to implement in a certain way been configured like that? You can just walk in on the site, open up your Analyzer application, and you can see all of that information without having to log on to the wireless LAN controller. Or imagine you're trying to troubleshoot a Wi-Fi network. I mentioned it in the demo about management frame protection. Not all of the client devices support it. And especially when it comes to 6 gigahertz wireless networks, and if it's been turned on globally across an SSID that's going across all 3 frequency bands, that could be a potential reason why some of the clients on 2.4 or 5 gigahertz are just no longer able to connect. So amazing, great update to Analyzer application. I want to say a huge well done to the team. I know how hard they worked on this feature to get it here today. So thank you so much. It's so cool. I think everyone can see how excited me and Mac are. And yeah, so very well done, everybody, about that. So Ari, how do we get a Sidekick 2 if we want one? What do we do?
You order now. We are shipping, so.
Okay, so I can just whip out my mobile device, scan that QR code, and it's going to take me to how I can buy a Sidekick 2. And if I order a Sidekick 2, we are shipping right away. So people who have got their Sidekicks. What I am totally loving seeing as well is I open up some social media and I see people doing unboxing videos of their Sidekick 2. So many people are so happy to receive their Sidekick 2s and get out there and start using them, which is just amazing to see. I am totally loving it. So if you've got one, trust me, we look at and we see all of the videos of your Sidekick 2. So we love seeing all of it. And if you want to get your hands on one, make sure you head over to that QR code and get yourselves one ordered today.
Yes, and if it's just a picture that you post and not a video, Matthew will download it, he will print it out, and he will stick it onto his wall to glare at it before he gets to bed.
You have my word.